Hi everyone. As Hangzhou CIC group of company, first of all, we would like to thank you, MMSteelClub, for arranging such a well-organized and efficient webinar. And also, I would like to just give the brief information, introduction of our company.
I apologize. My name is Umut Yildirim from MMSteel Company. First of all, on behalf of my company, I would like to thank to MMSteelClub for this virtual conference.
Perfect.
I would like.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone, and also good morning to Canada. First of all, I would like to thank MMSteelClub for providing me this opportunity. I was a regular speaker in many events, but this is my first webinar. So let's say, hope we can, go with it.
Yeah, hi, hello, everybody. So first of all, I want to thanks for MMSteelClub for inviting us, on behalf of my company Top Metal to this webinar, and wishing every single speakers and attendees healthy days. And as you know that health is the first priority in these days. I hope we can just all struggle with this pandemic and wish to shine this. I mean, before we expect.
I just would like to give you the brief information. Between January May 2020, steel production dropped about 5.2%, which was about 40 million ton globally. Among of the largest 20 steel making countries, only 4 countries managed to increase their production, which are China, Iran, Vietnam, and Egypt. And we have seen the biggest the production drop in Italy, France, Spain, and India. And in India, as you will remember in the previous webinar, in April, production of India dropped by 65%. And in May, so that 65 drop is also increased by 78% in India, which is referring about 6 million ton.
Historical low levels. And among these energy sources, gas demand was more moderate compared to other sources. Gas demand dropped only 2%. During the COVID-19 pandemic lockdown measures, global steel demand decreased around 6.5% year-on-year in 2020. Before I start to talk about the impact of COVID-19 to Turkish steel industry, we should look at the picture of 2019, which was also extremely challenging year for Turkish steel industry. Production of long products in 2019 dropped around 18% compared to 2019, and flat products and production of flat products dropped around 3.5% in comparison to 2018. So in total, we are talking about 12% production cut.
So as I stated, Turkey's reduced quota nearly to half is definitely not sufficient. We are not the only one affected. Also other countries like Russia and India were affected because their volumes are also much higher in the previous quarters than what was, let's say, developed in this year. There are also, let's say, rumors that, let's say, Severstal, let's say, which is Russian producer, they now have the currently anti-dumping rate of, let's say, around $20 per ton rate, might also be placed into investigation again to increase their, let's say, anti-dumping rate. What we can say is that only Serbia and South Korea quotas might seem sufficient because in the previous quarters, they shipped much less than, let's say, their quotas for this year.
Easily. And as you have been observing from the global markets, and auto business was one of the most affected sector from the crisis. And since we are not, just adhered to auto, it was not difficult for us to slide our sales side to the other sector as well. And if we talk about, let me just talk about whole flat steel export, from Turkey to Europe. Unfortunately, and our fellow countries, plus export numbers have been decreasing lately. Except for the materials, by the way. But one of the biggest reasons of that is safeguards and quotas, and also the side effects of COVID-19 pandemic period is a kind of crucial point as well.
Analyst, thanks.
Okay, so I look after marketing integration between Tata Steel and our newly acquired assets. We have acquired 2 companies in the last 2 years in India itself. And my question is, the first question is actually open to all of the panelists. We know that Turkey does a lot of exports. So what is the view in terms of Turkish exports for HRC? Which are the regions which are showing the largest recovery in terms of demand? And also, are these same regions showing a good promise in terms of the price point?
Okay, Turkey, as far as we remember, is not shipped any material for hot rolled coils to China. Of course, Turkey has done some export to Southeast Asia, such as Vietnam, Thailand. Those are the main market that Turkey exported. But recently, last month, Turkey, as far as I remember, in hot rolled coils business, is the first time that Turkey exported to China. And also there was another shipment to Southeast Asia, which we can talk about minimum 100,000 ton. About 100,000 ton the material is sold from Turkey to China or to Southeast Asia as well. And for the long product, since our friend Umut is the expert for the long product, so I don't want to make a comment since Umut is here. And please, Umut.
Actually, yes, we're the largest, one of the largest exporter for the long products. But I think that regarding the HRC coils, what we see that, especially after these protection issues and then the quotas, which was implemented by the European community, unfortunately, the situation is getting a little bit difficult for Turkish manufacturers such as Erdemir, Habash, Çolakoğlu, which we have been competing with Çolak and Habash in the export in the long product sector. But having said that, the most significant issue right now, I guess, that is the European community, the quotas, which is implemented by the European community. And then I understand that Habash and Çolak, or maybe Erdemir, Istemir as well, and other friends from flat products, they are trying to solve this problem by exporting the material, especially the Far East market, which is an emerging market for Turkish manufacturers, especially for the coils, because for the rebar, for the long side, those markets like Hong Kong and Singapore are traditional markets. We have been exporting material continuously for a couple of years. Unfortunately, while the Chinese effect has been seen significantly over those markets were closed for us. But then afterwards, China became pretty much involved with the local market, and then afterwards they cut production, they cut the export volumes to Southeast Asian market, and that's why we were able to export the material. But for the HRC, is a new market for the HRC producers. This is a new market, it's an emerging market. And then it's nice to see that they are exporting material. As my friend Hussein said, that a couple of cargoes have been sold by Turkish manufacturers to the Far East Asia market, to Chinese market.
Just before going with cold rolled and galvanized, I want to make a comment for hot rolled. Because of the military conflict between India and China, it might seem, let's say, be an opportunity for Turkey. We are hearing that major, let's say, Indian cargoes are being blocked, or traders are looking for other routes for their material, Indian material. Most probably they will gonna head to European Union. And since China is right now in, let's say, in a good mood, let's say economy that is booming, this might, let's say, represent a good opportunity, let's say, for Turkish integrated hot rolled mills to, let's say, look for export volumes there. For cold rolled and galvanized, of course, we are, let's say, looking for opportunities for everywhere. Let's say we are trying to be, let's say, competitive, and also on a long-term basis. Right now, let's say we are providing material with, let's say, not commercial quality, but on the value-added grades, like with high zinc coating or with, let's say, additional coated materials. So let's say I can say that some, let's say, we are also checking for other, let's say, unusual markets like the ones in Africa or South America, and constantly checking it. But because of this, let's say, COVID, let's say, crisis, And also, let's say it is difficult to find some consistency there.
My name is Miraj Khwaja, and I represent National Steel Advisory Council. It's a NPO, nothing to do with the government organization anyway. We are a group of 10 biggest steel manufacturers here in Pakistan. 5 of them are long product manufacturer. They import scraps, and from that they make billets, and then they re-roll it for the rebars. 2 of them, they import HR, and then they re-roll it for the manufacturing of CR, galvanized product, and color-coated products. And then 2 are the pipe manufacturers. The third one is a state-owned enterprise by the name People's Steel Mill. Obviously, they are making specialist steels for the country, for the defense purposes and all. My question is this, that I see there is a gap, because we had our only steel mill which got closed, the Russian steel mill, in somewhere in 2015. After that, the raw material mostly we are getting from the countries like former Russian republics, especially Ukraine, or the gap is being filled by the Chinese. The flat product, which we have got a demand, and I think the Turkish having a better relationship now in the coming years, because what I see from my data, in last 3 years, only we have imported around in 2018-19 about 55,000 to 56,000 tons of HR from Koglu. They only exported from Turkey to Pakistan. While in coming year, that is 2019 and 20, the year which is gone, we imported about 4,000, say around 4,000 HR. Now we have got about 2 re-rolling mills by the name International Steel and Aisha Steels, who are making products from the HR. Their raw material is HR, and then they manufacture CR and galvanized product and the color coated sheets. What do you foresee? Can you do some sort of a competition with the Chinese over here? Because Chinese are supplying alloy grade with the addition of boron, which is, they consider it as an alloy grade anyway. So what expectations are yours for this part of the world? Do you expect your country would be interested in exporting more product to this part of the world, or you are giving it up for the Chinese or for Ukrainians or for the other countries? Thank you very much.
Yeah, actually, as Arsun said, that I mean, China is just having a lot of impact over there. So I mean, Pakistan, we're just trying to just struggle with some competitors for Pakistan market in here. So it's not my I mean, own market, since I'm just managing the European side, but I'm just hearing a lot of rumors from my friends in here that they were just digging. But until now, it's not that really easy to just penetrate the markets. But apart from that, we can just find some chances. I mean, in case of we just trying to just fight with the other competitors. But I mean, just talking about logistics side, well, maybe I mean the logistic was it cannot be really helpful. Just in case of just talking about the location of Pakistan. But apart from that, I mean, if we just want to just move some further on markets, Pakistan can be kind of just a chance for us. But China is just having a lot of impact, as we just said before. Since they're just having a lot of I mean, production capacity compared to last year, because I mean it just rised up by like 12% compared to last year. Talking about steel production. So the more you're just selling, I mean producing more, the more you're just having a lot of I mean price I mean information in your hand. So just because of that, so it's not gonna be easy for us, but we should be just giving that a try.